Welcome one, welcome all. It's time. I hope you're all excited. I certainly am. Gosh, I could freaking carve a diamond sculpture with my nipples. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an impromptu RazörForce offensive. It's been too long since we did one of these. Yes, we will, of course, get Tactical Hobo back in here to do one of these properly. But, of course, we have the absolute State of the Union now to look forward to. So, right now, we're just kind of waiting on all of this gobbledygook. All of this is a little off-center here. Let me see if we can do this. Okay. Sorry, is my mic a little bit low? It is. Hold on a sec. Yep, gonna get all that done. Here we go. Okay, welcome all of you, RazörForce. I've been looking forward to this one. Let's see, we've done this with debates. I don't think we've ever done this. Here we go. How's that volume level? A little bit better? All right. So we've done this with debates where we just kind of live, mock, riff, whatever. Oh, here we go. Here we go. The asterisk man of the hour. Okay, here we are. Here we are. Slow-mo Joe, ladies and gentlemen. Wonder who's going to be holding him up. I wonder. No? And everyone sits back down. I love this. All right, so folks, how you doing? Who fed it? Who ate it? Welcome one and all. Sorry, I'm taking a look at the chats. All right. Yeah, we've done this with primary debates. We've done this with, gosh, the presidential debates. Unfortunately, I didn't do it in 2016, which is a shame because we missed some banger debates in 2016. But we did some in 2020. We did some of the primary debates, and in 2022 and such, we covered some of the results and whatnot. But this year, for the first time ever, I believe, we're going to do the absolute State of the Union. We had a lot of people last night on the stream, on Friday and such, trying to get us to do it, requesting that we do it.
Mr. Speaker, the Chief Justice and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court.
They're gonna start wailing and gnashing their teeth because they're Supreme Court justices. Anyway, Keith Olbermann somewhere just melted. Or sorry, that's urine. Actually, I think it's not melting flesh. It's urine. Okay, we got your chat here on screen. Bear with me, guys. I don't do these kind of streams all that often. Here we go. Okay, there's your chat. I will be, if you guys are super chatting and everything, I will be, of course, reading them. But, of course, bear with me because we got all this fancy speechifying that's going to be going down. I'm sure this is going to be the height of oratory. And actually, while we're at it, why don't I just go ahead and bring up your comments. Here we go. Supers. There we are. Hello, everyone. There's your super chats. All right, we got them all up here. Cool, that's what I was looking for. Bubba Doom says, Dio Vindice, come now, Lord Jesus. I think they're inviting quite a few Jesuses across the border right now. Ashley, how can Biden give the union address when he can't even remember his own address? That's true. Can you imagine? Can you imagine sitting in a car while Biden's looking for an address? I know how my grandpa was. Scully Bones, Biden is more amphetamine than man at this point. Yeah, the pharmaceutical industry is actually inventing new stimulants to keep this man upright. Vasudin. Biden 2024 State of the Union brought to you by Depends Adult Diapers. So good, even Biden forgets he wears them. Peter Gorembe, why is the State of the Union being hosted in an old folks' home? Iggy Thunders, am I going to supercut this stream? I don't know. Maybe I'll have Taryn look at it afterward, and if he thinks there would be a cool way to supercut it, I'd trust him to throw that together. The Gunslinger. Get the Undertaker body bags and shovels out. Crypt Keeper Joe shambling his way to the podium. Watch out Pelosi doesn't jump scare out of nowhere. It just isn't the same without Pelosi, right? That's the main thing. Wow. It's bad when Biden is more late for a stream than I am. That's no good. That's no good. You know they've got like they're breaking out like the industrial size syringes. Any of you guys ever see Alice Cooper in concert? They actually have like a nurse puppet lady on stage, and she has a gigantic syringe that she jams through. She actually impales Alice Cooper through the heart with the syringe. That's actually what they're sticking in Biden right now as we speak. Hold on. Maximilian Fontaine, what happened to your Hollywood Was Always Red video? It's right there.
The State of the Union address, live from the nation's capital.
Welcome to
It is starting.
Associated Press's coverage of the State of the Union.
Oh my God!
It's a dramatic night at the U.S. Capitol. And
Shouldn't you be writing a Disney comic book movie or?
speech. I'm Josh Boak with the AP.
Theoretically.
President Biden tonight
Don't assume my gender.
major moment in presidential stagecraft. He goes
Stagecraft!
6 in 10 Americans, according to NORC polling.
Does anybody under any illusion that what Biden's gonna do tonight is stagecraft?
This is a moment in an election year for Biden to prove himself. He has a chance to talk about money for Ukraine.
How long has Biden been in politics? This is the night that he's proving himself? I guess the preceding 60 years.
And those of congressional Republicans. Let's take a look right now on the House.
All right, there we go.
As you'll see, members are there. They've been shaking
Yep.
hands, hugs. There's been a
Members is right.
They are getting
Fucking
ready
turgid
for a
members.
Big show. Many women
Flaccid members.
white for this moment. Don't forget reproductive rights.
Well, let the members decide the reproductive rights.
Speaker Johnson and Vice President Kamala Harris as they wait for President Biden.
Is the sound a little low?
Biden is going
I mean, we don't want it to be too high because you guys know they love to strike these kind of streams, so.
according to excerpts released by
But we're changing it quite a bit, and the more I can talk over it, honestly, the better for
many Americans.
what YouTube construes as copyright.
Biden's going to say that under his presidency, he's added roughly 15 million jobs.
So when you shut down the economy completely, and then you let some of those people go back to work, but not all of them, and then some of them wind up not even participating in the job market ever again, we call that creating 14.5 million jobs. We don't call it letting people go back to work.
And he's also going to discuss inflation. Now, inflation is down at about 3.1%.
Sure it is.
Had peaked at 9.1% in the summer of 2022.
Oops, I didn't mean to do
And
that.
really hurt the president's approval rating. And
All
he
right, there we
still
go.
knows that Americans are struggling with the cost of housing and groceries.
All
And we see in these numbers that many Americans are not satisfied by his economic leadership.
You like how, and what do you want to bet? What do you want to bet that the talking points that are going on here have already been fed to Biden, or they've already been given a copy of the speech? They're essentially coordinating with Biden here. They're laying out what he's going to talk about and damage controlling for him preemptively before he even comes out. This is the state of our media class.
Competitor in this year's election,
We're watching via Associated Press, by the way,
possible rematch
who I have some
election.
interesting experiences with.
Two aides,
Personal experiences, actually. Maybe I'll tell you guys that story here tonight.
he's going to talk about his predecessor. He's going to talk about someone else.
How much are eggs again, right? it's just, it's amazing that you kind of have these two competing sort of damage controls going on with the Democratic Party and with the media and with Biden. They all kind of have settled on a different explanation for why the economy isn't good. Biden's just pretending it is good, right? Meanwhile, you go over to the store and a shopping list that cost you a little over $100 even 5 years ago is almost 3 times that much now. I almost spent $300 at a grocery store the other day, and it was a slightly larger grocery trip, but I really want to emphasize slightly. You start buying things like dog food and stuff, forget about it. But hey, you gonna believe Biden or your lying eyes? Repeat the lie. I was saying to Sticks on social media, you could pretty much... Sticks said something like, wouldn't it be hilarious if Biden came out and said he wasn't going to run again during his State of the Union? And I was like, you know what? You could probably, if somebody snuck that onto the teleprompter, 10 to 1, dollars to donuts, Biden would read it. He wouldn't even bat an eye. And Godspeed to Sticks. I don't know if he's covering this or not, but I am, because this is just too glorious an opportunity to pass up.
They'll see it in clips, in bits, in memes. And that's why
in memes. Oh, the media are mentioning memes.
It's not just the totality of the speech, but the ability of President Biden to generate and create.
I'm going to bring my dog in real quick. You guys regale yourselves with this wonderful stuff here. Just a moment.
Biden specifically challenged Republicans to not cut Social Security
Be right back.
and Medicare benefits. When he suggested they would, they began to boo him, and he got them in an impromptu moment to agree to protect both programs and then get a standing ovation, something that's very rare in these highly polarized times. If we go back and look at what's going on right now at the House chamber, we can
All right,
see
everyone.
that lawmakers are starting to
Sorry about that. I had fed Cicero right before, and we got our man without fear mug here with our bubbly. Just a touch of the bubbly.
and anticipation.
Caught the stream late. There were no songs. I thought they were jumping right into the speech. I should have known better. I mean, Jesus, they gotta bring Biden at a carbon freeze first. So of course there's gonna be a long delay.
On your side, who's fighting for you?
It's like asking Biden to say the alphabet backwards, or frontwards for that matter.
Children, and especially women. If you look at the guests tonight, many of them are involved in the reproductive rights issue.
Reproductive rights. This is, by the way, keep an eagle eye out for this as you watch this State of the Union.
Because they've said they want
Democrats used Roe v. Wade, the end of Roe v. Wade, as a wedge in the 2022 midterms. Now, exit polls, the narrative from the media and everybody, and from the Democratic Party, certainly, from the media class, from the intelligentsia, from punditry was, well, the end of Roe v. Wade is what helped Democrats. They didn't do well in the midterms, but they didn't do as poorly as they were statistically favored to do. They were supposed to get shellacked, and they didn't, right? It was kind of a push. And so the argument there was, well, they did well because Roe v. Wade ended, and people were mad about that. Again, exit polls didn't really show that, and it's an odd narrative to push given that several states passed flat-out abortion bans, and those were put up to a vote in that election cycle. So abortion was a major issue, but people decided to ban it in several states. Does that make any sense to anyone? But they need to drum this issue up because they need to marshal their base. And that actually is kind of telling if you think about it, because it tells you that Democrats aren't as energized going into this election cycle, which I think you could probably see just watching a Hassan Piker live stream, right? You can watch a Vosh or Destiny live stream, and you could tell these people are like The Walking Dead at this point, ideologically speaking. Whoops. Let me see here. Center horizontal. There we go.
In the audience tonight for the president's speech is the prime minister.
I wonder what's taking him so long. This guy, this soy boy here is having to, like, stall for time. It's hilarious. Everyone keeps... Uh-oh, it's Alice Cooper, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a hand. The king of shock rock. Oh. Oh, this woman has so much to answer for.
And Finland have both are in the process of joining NATO. NATO has expanded because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and Biden sees it.
See if I can move this over, get her more centered. I mean, I'd hate for you guys to miss out on this ageless beauty of Jill Biden here. The president's cabinet. Can we put him in one?
And we see members of his cabinet coming.
The ones that haven't resigned anyways, yeah.
Lincoln out first. He's followed by Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen.
All right.
Behind them is Defense Secretary...
Where's Mayor Buttplug? Let's hear him rap to us about Palestine, Ohio, huh? East Palestine, sorry. All right, there we go. Let me
remember that Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin recently had surgery for cancer.
Sir Yubi-san, wishing you could be part of Trump. You could be part-time Trump's vice president, right? There's a few okay candidates for vice president. I'm not too worried on that score. Solomon Sampson, the current CGL fuckery in Battletech needs the Razör Touch video soon. Yeah, I've been putting that one off. I've got a bunch of info that I really need to throw out there, because I think you guys are going to find that video pretty interesting. But we'll talk about that later. Some serious business. Some people have already talked about it, some people on YouTube, but I know some stuff that even they haven't reported, so...
This is a chance for them to come together, and that's what they're trying to do tonight.
All right.
We see Pete Buttigieg, the transportation secretary.
There he is!
Jennifer Granholm coming down as well. Buttigieg, of course, ran.
Alexandra, thank you for the 5. Says, riding with Biden, you're guaranteed to wreck. Ruental. I don't know what that means, but thank you for the 2. Adam the Spaghetti Fanatic says, Styx said he wouldn't be streaming. He's here. It's true. What am I saying? Der Doppelganger. Mr. Yes, The Rock's promo on Cody is more exciting than this. Fair enough.
And that means Mayorkas's trial could go before the Senate.
Scully Bones, it'd be hilarious if Biden starts sundowning and reverts back to his Jim Crow days. Ancient Slug Thrower, I'm just here for the snark. Well, you're going to get plenty, folks. You're going to get plenty. Sumo Orange, pray for people's livers with the drinking games. I do not have any drinking games, folks. I'm not a drinking man. All right. Mute Map Maker. How is this the first Biden State of the Thing that I've ever heard of? Probably because I'm streaming it, I would assume. Race War. All right, who the heck had Marty O'Donnell, Halo composer, runs for Congress on their 2024 bingo card? I have no idea. That's awesome, though. I guess he endorsed Trump.
As the White House launches its budget proposal.
Jadine, love your content. Godspeed. Godspeed to you. Raggedy Man, 3 years. Did Biden cure cancer yet? That's right. He did promise to do that, didn't he? How's he going to cure himself? That's odd. Black Metal Gamer, BlackRock and ESG's trending in gaming to SBI News. Really?
As is often the case when the president speaks, is not necessarily running on.
Josiah Flynn, thank you.
This is a moment, almost like a reunion.
Wow, so many already. My goodness, people.
Say hi and wish each other well.
Imagine making people wait for the turd we're about to endure. Seriously. Imagine. Tommy Reviews, miss your political streams. Yeah, it's been too long. It's one of the reasons I'm doing this, because I missed it as well. Patrick Bateman. Or Patrick Batman. I work in care, and I've cared for guys with end-of-life onset dementia that were more cognizant than Joe Biden and less plastic surgery. I mean, look. And this is something I want you guys to look at. Go watch a Ronald Reagan speech from the 90s. When, you know, he was pre-Alzheimer's. He was diagnosed in, what, like 94? Something like that. He spoke at the Republican convention. Go watch his speech from that, and then watch it back-to-back with just any given Biden speech. Gang, this man's brain has been cut on. I think people kind of forget about that, ironically, as if it was cut out of their brains. No, he had an aneurysm. They chopped his noggin open. They cut on his brain. Even if he's not demented, when you get older and you've had brain surgery, there are effects longer term. I've often said a lot of people try to diagnose him from afar. Oh, he's got this, he's got that, you know, whatever. I honestly think it might just be as simple as he's an old man losing his marbles. We've all had that person in the family, right? Who gets past a certain vintage and suddenly, you know, they're speaking to dead relatives and staring off into space and shadow boxing. All right, here we go. M. Towers, did they forget to charge President Biden bot this morning? He might not have enough battery to last the night. Luke Nukem reviews, time to watch President Corn Pop blame everything on Trump and stutter worse than geriatric Porky Pig again. Gonna listen to Judas Priest's new album afterwards. Is it out? I thought it didn't come out till May. Iggy Thunders, the Democrats somehow gave a Teddy Ruxpin a concussion and then made him president. Oh, here we are. Oh, my. The asterisk president of the United States. All rise for the convalescent president, folks.
Getting a lot of applause from Democrats in the chamber. Speaker Johnson is also standing up there and applauding for the president as he very slowly makes his way down.
I like how this guy's like actually behaving like a golf commentator, like, and now people are clapping. Like, thanks, I appreciate it. It's good you could set that straight for us.
He came to the Senate from Delaware in 1972. He spent most of his adult life in the U.S.
Oh my God.
as a senator.
We'll be here till Christmas.
He thinks of himself often
These people, he's actually not shaking hands. These people are holding him up.
what his policies mean for constituents.
Biden next to Chuck Schumer, like half the world's hair plug budget right there.
Letters and congratulatory notes to people he reads about. And so again, this is a man at home in the U.S. Capitol who's made plenty of speeches.
Come on, Biden. Push-up contest. Come on. That's really all I'm holding out for here tonight, folks. I'm not going to lie.
Response to Ronald Reagan's
My God, he looks old. Dear God.
He did so without his suit jacket on and standing up in his office.
Glass eyes, cold eyes, dead eyes like a doll's eyes.
The TV show The West Wing decades
It's just amazing that he's still rolling with the hair plugs like no one's caught on yet. He was like stone bald in the 80s.
needed an economy with opportunity and fairness for workers. And in doing that, he channeled the great
What was it Ultimate Warrior said? Anytime I see someone with a comb over, I know they have character issues. Right?
tonight is a chance for him to prove that that's
It checks out for John McCain anyway. Fun fact, a lot of people don't even realize, I've mentioned that time John McCain called his wife the C word in front of reporters, in front of rolling video cameras. They burned that tape, by the way. There's no existing tape of it. But they did quote him in the newspaper as saying it. That's how in league with the media John McCain was. The journalist was quoted as saying, and I quote, "It would not have constructively added to the conversation in the nation." I forget what year that was. It was like 2000 or something when he was running against George W. Bush in the primary. But fun contextual fact about those remarks. John McCain made those remarks because his wife said his comb-over looked bad. That's the God's honest truth. They had it. That's why he got a sore asshole and called her the C word Wonderful guy. All right. Oh, dude's holding up a sign that says "Stop the Biden border crisis" right to his face. Marjorie Taylor Greene just right in his face. I love it. Oh, say her name. It's Laken Riley. She's wearing a Laken Riley shirt. I just got that. Oh, man. You know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, pretty cringe sometimes, but that was a shockingly based moment right there. She doesn't bat 1,000. She doesn't even bat 100 most of the time, but every so often, you're all right. You're all right, Mags. He's posing for selfies. All right, well, at least while he's posing for selfies, he's not running the country. Stephen Thompson, quotation from Chairman Joe. Depends are mightier than the sword. The Grizzly. My Warhammer minis have less plastic in them than Biden's face. I bet they're more intelligent, too. The Copper Owl. Biden has strings, but now he's free and on the floor. Super Behareth. Who's going to be the new senator in Arizona? Maybe a migrant. I know the electorate will be. Parlock. This is like waiting for a prostate exam. It's true. Uriah the House Right. Don't let President Brandon sniff your kids. Commodore he's kind of sniffing some people in the crowd right now, honestly. I don't know. All right, here we go. Commodore Fan 64. Any more delays? It's going to be midnight Eastern time. You know, it's almost 7:30 my time. So he's almost taken a half hour longer. But I mean, look at him moving in slow-mo. I mean, you can see why this is. He probably, honestly, at 6 o'clock, he probably started at one end of the hallway. He's just now getting there. Jadid, if this State of the Union was a dog show, there would be no winner. But enough about Jill Biden. Lance, what's the opposite of an elephant tranquilizer? That's probably what they've got Biden on. It's amazing that his handlers think we don't notice when he's behaving like really aggravated and weird. Like, he doesn't get more coherent. He's just as scatterbrained as always, but they pump him up full of whatever they pump him up full of. And he gets really aggressive, and he starts yelling out of nowhere. And you see it in speeches that aren't even supposed to be aggressive. Bruce Campbell's chin, Biden fart huffing time. ZC. Hey, Razor, you and Styx are my go-to political YouTubers. Sorry to say I got the big block on Twitter years ago. Can you forgive a fan for what I don't even know. I don't even recognize the name. Stephen Duller. Hey, pineapple on pizza. And you're banned. No. Matthew Hammond. It'd be beautiful if gamers started blaming BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard for bad games that were created for a modern audience. You know, indirectly, it wouldn't be completely off the mark. Holy buckets, he's taken forever. There you go. I'm going to replace all of you with transsexual chicks. Yeah. Hey, maybe just shout at them, call them sorry bastards like you did that room full of naval cadets. Remember that lovely little episode? Jurassic Templar, let's hope our country doesn't become a banana republic come November 4th or Jan 8th. Become? I'm not saying our nation is a banana republic, but I saw Amazing Atheist trying to jam it up his... I mean, what? Raxus. All the people in white matching power suits gives me cultist heebie-jeebies. You remember that year? Was that the State of the Union, like... Was it the first year of Trump's presidency when all the chicks wore white in solidarity? It looked like a Klan rally in like one corner of the... And it was all like the squad and everybody. It was something for some cringy feminist talking point. I forget what the rationale was. It was like women in government or whatever. Lamappy3. Razor, he's not late. We are. He did this speech February 7th of 2023. Did anyone catch that on his social media? His social media people put the wrong date. And the wrong year. Mr. Coconut, we're all watching to see the heart attack live. I got 50 on aneurysm. No, don't turn his mic on. It's all right. It's better that way. It's better for him, better for everyone. It's all right. God, look at all, not just Biden, but just look how ancient everyone in that room is. It's like late stage Republic, the audience. Hey, she's gonna play Under My Wheels later. He's riding high on... Oh, yeah, here we go. He's got the angry old man voice he only gets when he's on uppers.
I go home now.
Ah! Yeah, the home.
Mr. Speaker, Madam Vice President, members of Congress, my fellow Americans.
Oh, yeah, he's on uppers.
In January
He's riding high.
1941, Franklin Roosevelt came to this chamber to speak to the nation.
Yeah.
He said,
He was as mobile as you are.
"Picture a moment unprecedented in the history of the Union. Hitler was on the march. War was raging in Europe.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
To wake up Congress and alert the American people that this was no ordinary time. Freedom and democracy were under assault in the world. Tonight, I come to this same chamber.
People always ask what he's squinting about. I think he's actually looking at his approval numbers, I think.
Face unprecedented moment in the history of the Union. And yes, my purpose tonight is to wake up the Congress and alert the American people that this
Let's
is
start by
no
waking you up.
either. Not since President Lincoln and the Civil War have freedom and democracy been under assault at home.
He loves mentioning the Civil War. My God.
It's a moment rare is the freedom and democracy are under attack both at home overseas at the very same time. Overseas,
That's when he starts slurring really hard, too, is when he's on
invading Ukraine
whatever
and sowing chaos throughout Europe.
distilled essence of unicorn semen or whatever they pump into his veins.
Putin will stop at Ukraine. I assure you he will not.
He would love a world war right now.
But Ukraine,
Did they just applaud Putin not stopping with the Ukraine? Is that what just happened? Anybody else catch that?
Ukraine can stop
Yeah, don't stop with the Ukraine.
with Ukraine
Turn him into a glass parking lot. Like, what?
that needs to defend itself.
That is rare. Kamala standing and the other guy's not. It's good to see Kamala could make it. I guess she heard there was an open bar.
Asking for American soldiers. In fact, there are no American soldiers in war in Ukraine, and I'm determined to keep it that way. But now, assistance to Ukraine is being blocked by those who want to walk away from our world leadership.
Our
Wasn't long ago when a Republican president named Ronald Reagan thundered, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Now,
Oh my God! You can hear he's got the amphetamine voice going on. Definitely, I called that correctly.
tells Putin, quote, "Do whatever the hell you want." That's a quote. A former president actually said that bowing down to
You mean the guy who got elected again in 2020?
is dangerous and it's unacceptable.
And now Biden's all about walls, huh?
America is a founding member of NATO. The of Democratic Nations, created after World War II to prevent war and keep the peace.
Oh, yeah.
Today,
And I think he was coached before this, too, about, you gotta seem vigorous.
And just this morning, Sweden officially joined, and their minister is here tonight. We're going to stand up.
Bork, 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 bork.
Welcome.
You glorious socialist, you.
And they know how to fight. Mr. Prime Minister, welcome to NATO, the strongest military alliance the world has ever seen. I say this to Congress, we have to stand up to Putin.
I'd settle for you just standing.
Social Security bill. History is literally watching.
Anyone else feel older just watching this?
States walks away.
No?
It will put Ukraine at risk. Europe is at risk. The free world will be at risk, emboldening others.
Did he just wipe drool off his mouth?
My message to President Putin
He did!
for a long time is simple.
Oh, no.
Will not walk away.
Oh, no! We won't walk away because we're physically incapable.
We will not bow down.
Because we're incapable of bending at the waist.
I will not bow down.
Again, my back doesn't really work that way. I have the posture of a seahorse. I don't...
History is watching. History is watching. Just like history watched 3 years ago on January 6th.
Oh, my God, here we go.
Insurrectionists stormed this very capital and placed a dagger to the throat of American democracy.
You know, Biden, if you're looking for domestic terrorists, maybe look up the name of the surgeon that did that to your face. Maybe.
With their own eyes, the insurrectionists were not patriots. They'd come to stop the peaceful transfer of power, to overturn the will of the people.
Over Stern, huh?
January 6th live.
The only crime committed on January 6th was the FBI being robbed of a Tony Award for Best Choreography. Blow it out your ass, you fucking old man muppet.
Since the Civil War. But they failed. America stood.
And jailed them without trial.
America stood strong, and democracy prevailed. We must be honest. The threat to democracy must
That's a first.
My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th.
Yeah.
I will not
Gives it something in common with Ruby Ridge, huh, Biden?
to speak the truth.
Of course, most of these people in this room think Ruby Ridge is the name of a stripper.
You can't love your country only when you win.
This from the party that said I'm embarrassed to be American in 2016? Anyone remember that? And who right now is saying that if Trump wins in 2024, they're going to move away? Anyone?
Ever since being elected,
There are sitting politicians who have tweeted this now. Oh, good times.
Remember your oath of office is defending against all threats, foreign and domestic. Respect free and fair elections.
Oh my God. Dude, you see his lips are trembling?
Political violence has absolutely
I don't know if you guys can see it on the stream.
zero place.
Look at that.
Again,
You get that when you're on something, or is that a Alzheimer's symptom? What is that?
history is watching. We're watching.
He's like,
Your children and grandchildren will read about this day and what we do.
our grandchildren at this rate won't be able to read. Have you been in a public school?
Victoria Beasley.
They'll be able to read Kimberly Has Two Mommies, but
14 months ago, she and her husband welcomed a baby girl thanks to the miracle of IVF.
and my God, I can't wait to sniff it.
Second child. The Alabama Supreme Court shut down IVF treatments across the state.
What?
Unleashed by a Supreme Court decision overturning.
What did he
Roe v.
say?
Wade. She was told
I'm imagining Porky Pig ripped on Jaeger rapping the lyrics to Inagata Davida, and it's still coming out more coherent than Biden is right now.
Let's stand up for families like hers. To my friends across the aisle, don't keep this waiting any longer.
What?
Guarantee the right to AVF.
All right.
Guarantee it nationwide.
Okay, whatever. We'll pretend those are words. Like, all right. Okay. Gotcha. My hearing is not that. I haven't been to that many Motorhead concerts.
most Americans,
Turn it up? Yeah, let's get copyright struck. You can hear.
I thank Vice President Harris for being an incredible leader defending reproductive freedom.
Mostly on her knees, but who better to protect reproductive freedom than a woman who's taken more loads than my dishwasher?
My predecessor came to office determined to see Roe v. Wade overturned.
What?
He's the reason.
Again, what was that?
And he brags about it.
Overturn.
That has resulted. Joining us tonight is Kate Cox, the wife and mother from
I mostly just like to say the word Cox. I don't.
And had a fetus of a fatal condition. Her doctor told Kate that her own life and her ability to have children in the future
Oh my God.
were at risk if she didn't act.
He is on something, guys. Like,
Law banned her ability
he
to
gets this way when they put him on something. He gets louder, but less coherent.
What her
if you can
family
believe it.
went through should have never happened as well, but it's happening in too many others. There are state laws banning the freedom to choose,
Yeah.
penalizing doctors, forcing survivors of rape and incest to leave their states to get the treatment they need. Many of you in this chamber and my predecessor are promising to pass a national ban on reproductive freedom.
Is there a single state in the union that bans abortion in the case of rape and incest?
It's a decision
I don't know of one.
the Supreme Court majority wrote the following. And with all
You know, I'm sure if you're real nice, the wizard will give your straw man some brains there, Biden.
excuse me, electoral or political power. I want you not to realize just how much you were right about that.
Huh?
Clearly,
It's like they know when they're supposed to clap, so even if he's not coherent and he doesn't make a point, they just clap anyway. Is there an applause sign? There has to be an applause sign. Never mind, go all out. Make it like a real sitcom. Put a laugh track in.
about the power of women, but they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we won
And there you go. I told you they were setting up this talking point. I told you they were setting up. This is why they keep mentioning Roe v. Wade, because they want to resurrect it as an issue, as if it happened yesterday.
American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose. I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again.
The president is not on the Supreme Court. What does that even mean? He basically just told the Supreme Court he has more power than them.
Go back. I'm here tonight to show what I believe is the way forward. Because I know how far we've come. 4 years ago next week, before I came
You could put Mein Kampf on that teleprompter right now, and Biden would read every word.
economic crisis in a century. Remember the fear, record losses. Remember the spikes in crime and the murder rate, raging virus that took more than 1 million American lives, of loved ones, millions left behind. A mental health crisis of isolation and loneliness.
What? Yeah, mostly just me. I don't...
Fail the most basic presidential duty.
Speaking of isolation and loneliness, how's your granddaughter, Biden? How's your...
I think that's unforgivable. I came to office determined to get us through one of the toughest periods in the nation's history.
See, the entire Biden clan's here except for the granddaughter. Imagine how much you have to piss this man off to get him to not smell a 4-year-old girl. Seriously.
So let's tell the story here. Tell it here and now.
The reason it's so low is I don't want to get... It's more likely you'll get copyright struck if you keep the volume up real loud.
Top down. Investing in all Americans, to make sure everyone has a fair shot. We leave no
To
one-
make sure everyone has a fair shot.
Pandemic no longer controls
A
our
quote
lives.
that will live in infamy.
Vaccines saved us from COVID
What?
are now being used to beat cancer, turning setback into comeback. That's what America does.
The things used to fight COVID are now causing cancer, Biden. I think you're a little confused. I think...
Folks, I inherited a
Anyone
country
seen the
on brink
statistics on rare cancers?
Our economy is literally the envy of the world. 15 million new jobs in just 3 years. A record.
It's wild. It's almost like you forced everyone to stay home, mandated they stayed home, and then gave them their jobs back.
A record 16 million Americans are starting small businesses, and each one is a little...
Starting small businesses, folks.
With historic job growth...
I can see why he's bragging about that statistic.
Asian Americans, 800,000 new manufacturing jobs in America.
Yeah, all of which are going to illegal aliens.
Where is it written we can't be the manufacturing capital of the world? We are, we will.
Yeah.
More people have health insurance today.
He must think he's delivering this speech in Beijing.
Than ever before. The racial wealth gap is as small as it's been in 20 years. Wages keep going up, inflation keeps coming down. It's dropped from 9% to 3%, the lowest in the world, and tending lower.
Right. This is what I mean. Like, I wish the pinkos in the press and the president would settle on what damage control they're crapping out here. The media insists the numbers aren't actually so bad so long as you squint. And Biden's been pretending our actively cratering economy ain't even happening, right? And you can see it here. If you're going to BS me, can we at least settle on the same brand of BS is my argument? The economy's so bad, OnlyFans girls are marrying for love, folks.
Consumer studies show consumer confidence is soaring. Buy America has been the law of the land since the 1930s.
Right.
Past administrations, including my predecessor,
Predecessor.
Democrats as well in the past, failed to buy American. Not anymore.
Yeah, now we're selling American.
Projects that you fund, like helping build American roads, bridges, and highways, will be made with American products and built by American workers.
And then sold to China, like my son and my brother did. To the Louisiana energy grid. Look that up, folks. He's right, though. There is a silver lining to the Biden economy. I mean, now I can fit $100 worth of groceries into a single bag.
During the pandemic, a shortage of semiconductors, chips, that drove up the price of everything from cell phones to automobiles. And by the way, we invented those chips right here in America. Well, instead of having to import them, private companies are now investing billions of dollars to build new chips.
He's coming down, folks.
Creating tens of thousands of jobs. Many of those jobs paying $100,000 a year and don't require a college degree.
Neither did the delivery of this speech.
In fact, my policies have attracted $650 billion in private sector investment in clean energy.
To Shanghai.
Creating tens of thousands of jobs here in America.
You all right? You need to step out and cough? Or this is like the 5th time he's coming down with a coof. Wouldn't that be wild?
46,000 new projects have been announced all across your communities. And by the way, I noticed some of you strongly voted against it, or they're cheering on that money coming in.
You didn't notice anything.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And if any of you don't want that money in your district, just let me know. Modernize our roads and bridges.
You know, the federal government doesn't actually dispense that money, but go off by freaking retard. Of course, let's be honest. This man doesn't distribute anything. He's not running anything. Maybe running to the bathroom late at night, but
rural communities in red states and blue states. Record investments in tribal communities.
I remember when the colors red and blue were invented. I don't.
Because I invested in family farms led by my Secretary of Agriculture who knows more
What?
about this than anybody I know. We're better able to stay in the family for those farms and their children and grandchildren won't have to leave home to make a living. It's transformative.
What?
The great comeback.
Transformative? What was that word? Did anyone catch that?
For nearly 60 years.
I know the volume's a little low, but what was that?
It was on its way to shutting down. Thousands of workers feared for their livelihoods.
Yeah.
Hope was fading. Then I was elected to office, and we raised the Belvedere repeatedly with auto companies.
I'm going to stop you at you were elected to office. I'm going to need you to stop right there.
and get these jobs back, and together we succeeded.
To be fair, Biden's speeches do lose something when they're not in the original Mandarin.
Factories being built to power those cars there at the same.
Settle in, folks. We got at least another 30 minutes of this.
Your community is moving forward again. Instead of watching jobs of the future, go over and see
Auto jabs of the future. I think that was a Freudian slip, folks.
our building in Belvedere right here.
What are we on 10th booster now? We will have auto jabs in the future.
Here tonight is UAW President Shawn Fain, a great friend and a great labor leader. Shawn, where are you? Stand up.
A great laborer. That's what he called him. Yeah, I am a great laborer. Yeah.
And Don Sims,
I'm a great lubriderm.
third generation worker, UAW worker at Belvedere. Shawn, I was proud to be the first president to stand on the picket line, and today,
Yeah, let me know when you're president.
providing stability for a family and pride and dignity as well. Showing once again, Wall Street didn't build America. They're not bad guys. They didn't build it, though. The middle class built the country, and unions built the middle class.
Unions started the wave of riots in the early 20th century. They certainly did that. Instigated by communist pressure groups mostly, but
When America gets knocked down,
that's another video. I don't know what we missed there, but I'm sure it was great.
that's America.
Man, I want whatever Biden's on.
That's you, the American people. It's because of you America's coming back. It's because of you our future is bright. It's because of you that tonight we can proudly say the state of our union is strong and getting stronger.
Oh, yeah. I'm paying $15 for a hamburger. I'm about to do a backflip, you squinting retard. Yeah, 4 more years, $15 more. Let's get those hamburgers up to 30, huh, folks? Let's do it.
I want to talk about the future of possibilities that we can build together. A future where the days of trickle-down economics are over, and the wealthy and the biggest corporations no longer get all the tax breaks. And by the way, I understand corporations. I come from a state that has more corporations invested than every one of your states in the United States combined.
Delaware?
Represented for 36 years. I'm not anti-corporation.
He just did he just say Delaware has more corporations than any other state combined? What?
That's why I determined to turn
What?
things around.
What? The screen door factory? What?
Swerve away up, and the wealthy still do very well. We all do well. And there's more to do to make sure you're feeling the benefits of all we're doing.
I feel like we need to stop and pause and process that.
World.
All right.
It's wrong, and I'm ending it. For the law that I proposed and signed, not one of you Republican buddies voted for it.
Voted.
Pharma. Instead of paying $400 a month or thereabouts for insulin, diabetes, and it only costs $10 to make.
And my Alzheimer's medication costs a lot less.
Profit.
And the rhino steroids coursing through my veins at present.
But what to do next? I want to cap the cost of insulin.
He has been doing that little raised fist all night, hasn't he?
Everyone.
All right.
For years, people have talked about it, but finally we got it done and gave Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices on prescription drugs
I remember when money was invented.
for veterans. That's not just saving seniors money, it's saving taxpayers money. We cut the federal
Filippo Denoto asked, did I see Clarence Thomas stand up and clap when Biden said he would restore Roe v. Wade? That was interesting.
because Medicare
Maybe he rose up and flipped him off. I don't know.
exorbitant prices to big pharma. The This year, Medicare is negotiating lower prices for some of the costliest drugs on the market.
Maybe he shouted, "Corn Pop says hi." I don't know.
It's now time to go further and give Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices for 500 different drugs over the next decade.
I'd remind you, this guy's vice president has said that she's willing to snatch corporations' medical patents, which if that happens, you can pretty much kiss all those goodbye. They'll probably go to China, where they actually honor patents. Ironically, given the fact that China steals ours. Essentially an intellectual piracy state, but they somehow have a closer adherence to copyright and patent law than we do. Snatch patents, correct. Oh! Now, when do we get to the green green energy bit?
Berlin, Moscow. Even Moscow probably.
What?
And bring your prescription with you, and I promise you, I'll get it for you for 40% the cost you're paying now. Same company, same drug.
Right, just like you were going to cure cancer, Biden.
Affordable Care Act, the old Obamacare. It's still a very big deal.
Yeah, it's... Oh, definitely. I love my 118% premium increase since 2007. Absolutely. Obamacare's been a great deal.
Over 100 million of you can no longer be denied health insurance because of pre-existing conditions.
Yeah, and we'll penalize you if you don't sign up.
And many in this chamber want to take this prescription drug away by repealing Affordable Care Act. I'm not going to let that happen. We stopped you 50 times before we will stop you again. In fact, I'm not only protecting it, I'm expanding it. We enacted tax credits of $800 per person per year, reduce health care costs for millions of working families. That tax credit expires next year. I want to make that savings permanent.
And punish anyone who doesn't sign up for it.
To state the obvious,
It's not so much what's being said here as what's not being said.
women's health has always been underfunded. That's why we're launching the first ever White House initiative on women's health research, led by Jill, doing an incredible job as First Lady.
Someone just said they can't hear Biden. Drat! You're missing a lot.
So pass my plan for $12 billion to transfer women's health research and benefit millions of lives all across America.
All right, that's number 6. What's going on? Is he sick? Is it?
Coming down, mortgage rates will come down as well. And the Fed
His wife's a doctor and he's hacking up a lung up here?
I want to provide an annual tax credit that will give Americans $400 a month for the next 2 years as mortgage rates come down, to put toward their mortgages when they buy their first home or trade up for a little more space.
I'd like to trade up.
Just for 2 years.
How are people going to do that when, like, a small flat in San Francisco is like $5 million a month?
There's also eliminating title insurance on federally backed mortgages. When you refinance your home, you can save $1,000 or more as a consequence.
Whoever comes out and says they'll get the federal government out of home ownership, I will blow from dawn to dusk. I will drop trow and suck them off right there.
We've cut red tape so builders can get federally financing, which is already
Free prostate exams for women.
Now pass.
Powerful women like Blair White
Now pass and build
and Coulter. I mean, what?
2 million affordable homes and bring those rents down.
Mostly because I can't count that high. I don't.
To remain the strongest
All right, so
economy in
he's
the world,
claiming the economy is stronger than ever while we're paying 3 times as much for groceries as we were 5 to 6 years ago.
I suspect all of you.
That Obamacare's working out despite, increases of premiums approaching 150%. I'm trying to think of what we're missing so far. Like if we've checked all the items off the list. He's gotten the domestic terrorism silliness. Trying to think. Immigration. He hasn't hit immigration yet. And he hasn't threatened to take our guns yet. He'll get to that. He'll get to that.
Start school,
Oh, and of course Roe v. Wade. He got to that.
having heard 1 million fewer words spoken. Well, studies show that children who go to preschool are nearly 50% more likely to finish high school, go on to earn a 2- and 4-year degree, no matter what their background is.
And God willing, I'll do the same one day. The sweet sniff of education.
Leaders of the Business Roundtable. They were mad that they were angry, I think, they were discussing
What?
why I wanted to spend money on education. I pointed out to them as vice
I feel like half of this stream I've just been saying, what?
I think it was 182 of those folks. Don't hold me to the exact number. And I asked them what they need most, the CEOs.
A different president?
They've had the same experience on both sides of the aisle. They say a better educated workforce, right? So I looked at them.
I'd settle for an educated workforce, honestly. I don't...
To be the 8th largest corporation in the world. And every new enterprise they bought, they educated the workforce to that enterprise.
Yeah.
But none of you do
And
that anymore.
And we have to do that. I like Star Trek. Let's go, Enterprise. Hey.
For the best educated workforce in the world. And they all looked at me and said, I think you're right. I want to expand high quality tutoring and summer learning.
The rhino steroids wearing off.
Third grade.
If this dude were one of those Duracell batteries, you'd be touching the 2 sides and the bar would be at around 1/4 right now.
Local businesses and high schools, so students get hands-on experience. With a good-paying job.
He is doing the little fist, too. I don't know what that's
I
about.
want to make sure the college is more affordable. Let's continue increasing the Pell Grants to working and middle-class families.
All right, chat, you gotta hit me up. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer the little Biden fist or the Bill Clinton this thing? Obama did that, too. Whatever this is. The non-committal thumbs up.
When I was told I couldn't universally just change the way in which we dealt with student loans, I fixed 2 student loan programs that already existed to reduce the burden of student debt for nearly 4 million Americans, including nurses, firefighters, and others in public service.
Yeah, we got to get those people into colleges, so
Like
they'll be eternal debt slaves.
educated from Minnesota, who's here with us tonight. Keenan, where are you?
Underqualified eternal debt slaves.
He's educated hundreds of students.
Got to get these guys their degrees so they can be turned down for fry-a-later cook at McDonald's.
Get his own
That's
daughter to
important.
college.
This just isn't the same without Nancy Pelosi sitting in the back looking like she's straining to hold in a fart.
Such relief is good for the economy because folks are now able to buy a home, start a business, start a family. While we're
I was going to ask where Paul Pelosi is, but he's probably hammered. Anyway,
And by the way, the first couple of years we cut the deficit.
sure you did.
Now let me speak to the
What's the deficit at? Like 9 trillion?
I've been delivering real results
70 tetrillion?
ways. We've already cut the
They're going to have to invent new numbers for the national debt and deficit.
I signed the bipartisan deal to cut another $1 trillion in the next decade.
Can we just dispel this rumor right now?
That was another $3 trillion by making big
When
corporations-
Democrats in the mono party and Republicans in the mono party pass a law, that's not bipartisan. Can we just throw that out there? When Mitt Romney and up Chuck Schumer agree on something, that's not bipartisan.
capitalist. You want to make or can make $1 million or millions of bucks, that's great. Just pay your fair share in taxes.
Hey, what's a fair share of theft?
Tax code
What's
is how we invest things to make this country great. healthcare, education, defense, and so
What's
much
my
more.
fair share of someone else's money?
The last administration enacted a $2 trillion tax cut, overwhelmingly benefit the topping 1%, the very wealthy, the biggest corporations, and exploded the federal deficit. They added more to the national debt than any presidential term in American history.
Yeah, and you were mad that he didn't spend more, because most of that was over COVID, you squinting retard.
Do you think the tax code is fair?
Oh my
Do you
God.
really think the wealthy and big corporations need another $2 trillion tax break?
Wow.
I sure don't.
Even though they're all my donors, and they're voting for the higher taxes because it keeps them in power because they can afford to pay those taxes, and their competition can't.
Nobody, not one penny. And they haven't yet. In fact,
I mean, that right there.
the child
Yeah. The guy who got
pandemic cut taxes.
how many hundreds of thousands from Microsoft in 2020 wants to tax corporations.
Restore that child tax credit.
Uh-huh.
No child should go hungry in this country. The way to make the tax code fair is to make big corporations, the very wealthy, begin to pay their fair share. Remember in 2020, 55 of the biggest companies in America made $40 billion and paid zero in federal income tax. Zero. Not anymore. Thanks to the law I wrote and we signed, big companies have to pay a minimum 15%. But that's still less than working people pay in federal taxes. It's time to raise it.
Yes, which you made sure of. I love how all of this stuff he says, even though he was a senator for how long, and then he was vice president for how long?
Corporations finally
This dude's been in politics for like 50 plus years.
also want to end tax breaks for big pharma.
Like this just happened.
Like
Like corporations aren't paying their fair share, and I haven't been mad about it for the last 50 years, but I'm mad as heck now.
now. You know, there are 1,000 billionaires in America.
60 years. Thank you very much, Card Scraper. Sorry, I'm trying to watch the chat, but it's moving very fast. Thank you, everyone who's joining us.
They're making great sacrifices, 8.2%. That's far less than the vast majority of Americans pay. No billionaire should pay a lower federal tax rate than a teacher, a sanitation worker, or a nurse.
Yes. The guy being donated to overwhelmingly by corporations while shipping in their low-paid, essentially slave labor from the third world,
Just 20
wants to rap to us all about corporations not paying their fair share.
$100 billion.
I'm sure this won't result in us paying more taxes and them paying less.
America. Imagine a future with affordable child care. Millions of families can get they need to go to work to help grow the economy. Imagine a future with paid leave because no one should have to choose.
Cut income tax? You mean abolish income tax. Sorry. I'm reading the chat.
Imagine a future of home care and elder care.
Nick Allen, congratulations to you. Gamera has left office.
Caregivers can finally get the pay they deserve. Tonight, let's all agree once again to stand up for seniors.
Being one myself.
On the other side of the aisle, want to put Social Security on the chopping block.
He's passionate about this issue, considering we've gone from White House to White Hospice.
I will stop you.
You will stop in the middle of your sentence and trail off, you mean?
The working people who built this country pay more into Social Security than millionaires and billionaires do. It's not fair.
Hardcore Bunny. I prefer the Chester in chief. Thank you very much. Got to get that alliteration down.
Oh no, you guys don't want another $2 trillion tax cut? I kind of thought that's what your plan was. Well, that's good to hear.
It's good everyone got the memo about the exact reactions they're supposed to give at the exact times.
Strengthen Social Security and make the wealthy pay their fair share. Look,
I know I'm paying my fair share.
too many corporations raise prices to pad their profits, charging more.
I just filed mine for crying out loud.
That's why we're cracking down.
I'm not going to be able to sit down for the next week and a half. I'm actually standing right now. I'm actually on my knees. I figured since Kamala's here, I'd... What?
You won't notice if they change the size of the bag and put a hell of a lot fewer...
Oh my God, he's going off on this again. He was mocked incessantly over this, and they put it in the speech again!
Pass Bobby Casey's bill and stop this. I really mean it.
There is no way his people are not undermining him. There's no way. He was torn in half on social media over this.
Snickers bars. You get charged the same amount, and you got about, I don't know, 10% fewer Snickers in it. Look, I'm also getting rid of junk fees. Hidden fees.
How are you getting rid of junk?
Without your knowledge.
What does that even mean?
My administration announced we're cutting credit card late fees.
Yeah, get rid of junk fees, says the government that makes me pay to be able to use my car every year.
Banks and credit card companies.
I paid a friendly highways tax last year, by the way. I don't even know what that's for.
To instigate the collection. And that's more a hell of a lot like $8.30-some. They don't like it. Credit card companies don't like it. But I'm saving American families $20 billion a year with all the junk fees.
The credit card companies that donate to you, those ones?
Folks at home.
I forget who did the breakdown, but in 2020, somebody actually broke down percentage-wise how many corporations donated to Biden, how many to Trump, and it was like a 70-30 split.
Proposed rules to make cable, travel, utilities, and online ticket sellers tell you the total price up front, so there are no surprises.
Razör, leave Arizona for Texas, no statewide tax. It's tempting, but from what I understand, Texas does get you in other ways. They have taxes that we don't.
The team began serious negotiation with a bipartisan group of senators. The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, you don't think so?
Oh, let's hear from this guy about border security.
Bill, huh? That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill?
Oh, yeah, sure. What conservatives? Yeah, I saw Rand Paul singing the praises of that border bill. The guy who opposes the wall is going to rap to you all about border security, folks. Hey, Biden, ask Princess Diana if walls work, asshole.
And new policies so they can resolve cases in 6 months instead of...
The guy who threatened to withhold federal funding from Texas for some razor wire on their border.
100 more high-tech drug detection machines to significantly increase the ability to screen and stop vehicles smuggling fentanyl into America. That's killing thousands of children. This bill would save lives.
I mean, I like fentanyl as much as the next guy. I think they pumped me full of it before I walked out here, but...
New emergency authority to temporarily shut down the border when the number of migrants at the border is overwhelming.
You know, Biden, if you have an issue wrapping what's left of your mind around the idea of enforcing our immigration laws, maybe try thinking of it as aborting them from the country. I don't know. Just aborting them in the 207th trimester. I don't...
I believe that given the opportunity for a majority in the House and Senate...
Razor wire, yes.
Majority right now. But unfortunately, politics has derailed this bill so far. I'm told my predecessor called members of Congress.
Please.
Demand they block the bill. He feels
that bill has more pork than Jim Sterling's diet, for Christ's sake.
for him. It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner. Not really.
Yeah! Ah! He just got shouted down by the audience.
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals?
What?
For parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself.
Oh no, he's going off script.
But look, if we change the dynamic...
Oh, it's not good. Oh, it's not good.
Smugglers $8,000 to get across the border.
He called her Lincoln, by the way.
If they get by, they get by.
That's genius.
Let into the country. It's
Honest Abe Riley.
hearing. And it's worth taking the chance of the 8,000.
Well, she did get shot. I don't...
But if it's only 6 months, 6 weeks, the idea is it's highly unlikely that people will pay that money and gum all that way, knowing that they'll be able to...
And gum all that way. Oh, God, what?
I would respectfully
It's like he
say,
took
Mr.
diction
President,
lessons from
I would
Daffy
like to
Duck.
go to the American people, get this bill done. We need to act now.
We gotta get those pork barrel tax breaks for corporations out there now. I mean,
And if my
didn't they put, like, funding for the Ukraine war in that bill?
and pressuring members of Congress to block the bill,
Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I believe I heard that.
pass it. We can do it together. But that's what he apparently...
I mean, they put everything in that bill but border security. Yeah, thank you, chat. Thank you. And Israel, of course. Of course.
Separate families.
Gotta keep Gaza a hell on earth, right?
I will not ban people because of their faith. Unlike my predecessor on my first day in office, I introduced a comprehensive bill to fix our immigration system. Take a look at it. As all the
What?
more. Secure the border.
Did anyone catch any of that?
And so much more. But unlike my predecessor,
Gang, I speak fast. I do. But what the hell was that?
world with a heart and soul that draws from old and new. Home to Native Americans whose ancestors have been here for thousands of years. Home to people of every place.
I remember when they first came here.
Freely. Some came
I remember when classical music was just music.
my
I don't...
ancestral family in Ireland. Some to flee persecution. To chase dreams that are impossible anywhere but here in America. That's America. And we all come from somewhere. But we're all Americans.
He has said predecessor like 50 times, hasn't he? Well, he's attempted to say the word predecessor about 50 times.
Look, folks. We have a simple choice. We can fight about fixing the border, or we can fix it. I'm ready to fix it.
You weren't ready when Trump was president. You weren't ready when he was asking you to build the wall. You weren't ready when he wanted to fund more border patrol and hire more. You weren't ready when we asked for voter ID to prevent them from voting in our elections. But you're ready now that there's a bunch of pork for Israel and Ukraine in a bill that you claim is about the border.
Hundreds of foot soldiers for justice march across
Gotcha.
the Pettus Bridge.
Just making sure we're on the same page.
Ku Klux Klan, to claim their fundamental right to vote. They were beaten. They were bloody and left for dead. Our late friend and former colleague John Lewis was on that march. We miss him.
Oh, now Biden's going to pretend to care about black people. Here we go. Talk about the racial jungle again, will you, Joe? Please? Please?
Known as the voice of Selma. The daughter of gospel singers and preachers. She sang songs of prayer.
The voice of Selma. She's that girl from Scooby-Doo, right? Right?
5 months later, the Voting Rights Act passed and was signed into law.
And God willing, we'll pass Jim Crow again.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Anyone catch that Biden ad with the fried chicken? This is essentially what we're watching here.
Their force is taking us back in time.
Can you tell he's polling lower with blacks than he needs to? That's one thing that not enough people talk about. If Trump bites into Biden's,
John Lewis was a great friend
like, lead with, like, Republicans expect to lose with African Americans.
Then it's time to do more.
Democrats, if they get less than 90%, are really in trouble in any given election.
The John Lewis Voting Right Act. And stop Stop denying
Yes, please stop.
value of America.
Please stop.
Diversity across American life. Banning books. It's wrong. Instead of erasing history, that's
Banning porn in public school libraries.
rights. Pass the Equality Act. And my message to transgender Americans, I have your back.
God. Well, if an old man saying he supports transgender people and coughing halfway through the sentence doesn't inspire confidence in the leader of the free world, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what will. I don't know.
Living more than $7 an hour.
My man boobs swell with pride.
Also making history by confronting the climate crisis, not denying it. I don't think any of you think there's no longer a climate crisis. At least I hope you don't. I'm taking the most significant action ever on climate in the history of the world.
Oh, here we go. Leave it to the guy with no energy to rap about green energy. All right, here we go. Bring it to us, Joe. All right, let's hear it.
IBEW work is building and installing 500,000 electric
Let's hear it.
conserving 30% of America's lands and waters by 2030.
Huh? 30%? What?
Action on environmental justice, fence line communities smothered.
Environmental justice, we're calling it now. Like the environment was murdered in an alley by Joe Chill.
To put 20,000 young people to work in the forefront of our clean energy future. I'll triple that number in a decade.
Let's pretend Dems care about the environment at all. How many Democrat-run cities are next to a major body of water? Right? Have you seen the Great Lakes? Like, I've stood on Lake Erie, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't even frozen at the time. You have any idea how polluted these waterways are?
30% they went up.
All these cities are run by Democrats. But they're setting environment policy now.
It was then.
He can't even talk over a guy just yelling across the room, and he's got a microphone.
Largest investment in public safety ever. Last year, the murder rate
Oh, man. That facelift is holding up well, huh?
fell to one of its lowest levels in more than 50 years. But we have more to do. We have to help cities invest in more community police officers, more mental health workers.
Yeah, how's Flint doing? Thank you very much, whoever said that in the chat.
Communities that told to crack down on gun crime, retail crime, and carjacking. Keep building trust as I've been doing by taking executive action on police reform and calling for it to be the law of the land.
Yeah.
Directing my cabinet to review the federal classification of marijuana and expunging
I don't know what he's going to do about the environment, but I'm smelling fertilizer.
for simply using or have it on their record.
Let's bring the Democratic Party's environmental policy in focus for a moment here.
I'm ramping up the federal enforcement of the violence against women.
The Democrats, and some of the Republicans, to be fair,
so we can
spent most of the year 2020
against women in America.
asking a 17-year-old autistic girl how to fix the weather.
There are other kinds of violence I want to stop. With us tonight is Jasmine, whose 9-year-old sister Jackie.
I don't know why it's cutting out.
With 21 classmates.
I think that's just the stream.
Elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Very soon after that happened, Jill and I went to Uvalde for a couple of days. We spent hours and hours with each of the families.
No, you didn't.
We heard their message.
Hasn't he told this lie before? He wasn't even there.
Same message. The constant refrain, and I was there for hours meeting with every family. They said,
Now he's going to talk about grabbing guns.
do something.
You want to get destroyed in an election, even with all the fraud in the world. You push gun control, Joe.
The vice president's leading.
It is at record unpopularity. When was the last time a gun measure passed? Was it when Trump was retarded and passed the bump stock ban? Louisiana just became a constitutional carry state, and you stick your finger in the wind and say, yeah, gun control's the issue to run on now.
He's proud he did nothing on guns when he was president.
Yes! Oh, I wish he had done nothing on guns.
After another shooting in Iowa recently, he said, when asked what to do about it, he said, just get over it. There's his quote, just get over it. I say, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. I'm proud we beat the NRA when I signed most of the
I encourage him to run on this message vigorously.
We now must beat the NRA again.
After the summer of love, if you think you're running on gun control ever again, all the election fortification in the troposphere is not going to save you if you run on this issue. Please do it, Joe. Please do it.
Second Amendment for 12 years. None of this violates the Second Amendment or vilifies responsible gun owners. You know, as we manage challenges at home, we're also managing crises abroad, including in the Middle East. I know
He's getting sleepy.
Gut-wrenching for so many people.
They're warming up his Binky and Baba as we speak, actually.
This crisis began on October 7th with a massacre by a terrorist group called Hamas, as you all know. 1,200 innocent people, women and girls, men and boys, slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day of
Yeah, most just at the hands of my son.
250 hostages taken. Here in this chamber tonight are families whose loved ones are still being held by Hamas. I pledge to all the families that we will not rest until we bring every one of your loved ones home.
Yeah, just like we did in Afghanistan, huh, Joe? Yeah, we'll bring them all home. And we'll leave millions of dollars of military equipment behind as well. I know I sleep the sleep of angels knowing the guy who pulled us out of Afghanistan with zero plan whatsoever is going to bring everyone home from Hamas. Oh. You have to laugh to not cry, honestly.
Releasing hostages, laying down arms could end it by laying down arms and
Gotcha,
those responsible for October 7th.
Uh-huh.
But Israel has
a mental hiccup combined with a physical hiccup. It's a new one.
Israel also has a fundamental responsibility.
He's actually combining his infirmities now. They're actually joining forces.
This war has taken a greater toll on innocent civilians than all previous wars in Gaza combined. More than 30,000.
Yeah, and it happened under your watch.
Most of whom.
It's weird how that popped off right after Trump left.
Thousands of innocents, women and children, girls and boys.
Kind of like that Ukraine.
Nearly 2 million more Palestinians under bombardment or displacement. Homes destroyed, neighborhoods in rubble, cities in ruin.
Yeah.
Families without food, water, medicine. It's heartbreaking.
And that's just in downtown Chicago.
Ceasefire that would last for 6 weeks to get all the prisoners released, all the hostages released. To get the hostages home and ease the intolerable and have a humanitarian crisis.
Did he just forget he was in the Obama administration that paid Iran and gave them back terrorists? Did you just forget that? What was that, like $60 million on a pallet on a runway in Iran?
To establish a temporary pier in the Mediterranean on the coast of Gaza that can receive large shipments carrying food, water, medicine, and temporary shelters. No U.S. boots will be on the ground. A temporary pier will...
There's already boots on the ground, Joe. Joe, buddy, that story already came out. Everyone, all the people who thought Biden was going to get primaried, I just had to shake my head. I'm like, dude, they will run this guy until the wheels fall off. I've been saying since the beginning. He's the perfect patsy. It's not because of any of his merits. It's because he's not running the country, and he's not even pretending to. The only way you're getting Biden into a primary is if you put the word school in front of it.
Protecting and saving innocent lives has to be a priority. As we look to the future, the only real solution to the situation is a two-state solution over time.
All right.
And I say this as a lifelong supporter of Israel, my entire career, no one has a stronger record with Israel than I do. I challenge any of you here.
Let's not pretend he even remembers his record with Israel. Let's be honest.
But there is no other path that guarantees Israel's security and democracy. There is no other path that guarantees Palestinians can live in peace with peace and dignity. There's no other path that guarantees peace between Israel and all of its neighbors, including Saudi Arabia, with whom I'm talking.
What plan? Continuing to fund this war that's basically erupting a large chunk of the globe in hellfire? That's all I'm getting from this plan.
I've ordered strikes to degrade the Houthi capability and defend U.S. forces in the region.
If you like your genocidal plan, you can keep your genocidal plan.
Measures to protect our people and our military personnel.
I'd complain about the people that voted for Biden, but I try not to speak ill of the dead.
For years, I've heard many of my Republican and Democratic friends say that China is on the rise and America's falling behind.
I should know. I do lots of business with them.
I've been saying it for over 4 years, even when I wasn't president. America's rising. We have the best economy in the world. And since I've come to office, our GDP is up, our trade deficit with China is down.
Did he just say the LGBT is up?
And we're standing up against China's unfair economic practices. We're standing up for peace and stability across the Taiwan Straits.
By using my son to sell our energy grid to them.
India, Australia.
We're doing comprehensive outreach. It involves a lot of foot jobs with my son.
I've made sure that the most advanced American technologies can't be used in China, not allowing to trade them there.
Is anyone under the illusion that Biden even knows what our most advanced technology is? What's our most advanced technology anyway? What was it?
I want competition with China, not conflict.
One of those threshing machines? Is that
conflict of the 21st century against China,
a washboard?
For that matter, than any time as well. Here at home, I've signed
The Chinese will never have access to our precious cotton gin technology.
my unity agenda. Strengthen penalties on fentanyl trafficking. You don't want to do that, huh? Pass bipartisan privacy legislation to protect our children online. Harness the promise of AI to protect us from peril. Ban AI impersonations and more. And keep our truly
Good luck with all that. That genie is so far out of the bottle.
harm's way and care for them and their
Christ's sake, I'm pretty sure I'm watching AI right now. I hope I am. Ban AI. It was a crappy Spielberg movie.
That's why the song Support and Help of Dennis and the VA, I signed the PACT Act. One of the most significant laws ever, helping millions of veterans exposed to toxins. who now
How did he get from AI to
different camps.
veteran toxins?
Many of them don't come home, but we owe them and their families.
Oh, yeah. No, we remember how well the VFW was doing under your buddy Obama there, Biden.
Research agency called
Weren't you put in charge of that project, Joe?
Remind us that
Wasn't
we
that
can
how that
do
went
big
down?
Things like end cancer as we know it, and we will.
This is the guy whose greatest claim to fame in the Obama administration was threatening to ban violent video games. That's who's talking right now, folks.
Let me close with this.
That was the defining accomplishment of his entire career in the Obama administration. Sitting down with John Riccitello and plotting how to mess up your video games. And succeeding.
I gotta say a few more things. I know it may not look like it, but I've been around a while. When you get to be my age, certain things become clearer than
He
ever.
kind of did succeed, yeah.
I know the American story. Again and again, I've seen the contest between competing forces in the battle for the soul of our nation. Between those who want to pull America back to the
This
past
nation's soul got up, excused itself, and left the building around the time you became Vice President, Joe.
freedom and democracy, a future based on core values,
Around the time Joe McCarthy was murdered in that Bethesda hospital.
dignity, equality,
Died of mysterious causes.
respect everyone,
after the shortest illness ever and never had an autopsy.
Ain't no safe harbor. Now other people my age see it differently.
That trembling lip thing he's doing is gotta be some kind of...
Revenge and retribution. That's not me. I was born in mid-World War II when America stood for the freedom of the world. I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware.
Oh, he's doing the Scranton, Pennsylvania thing again, huh?
I watched in horror as two of my heroes, like many of you did, Dr. King and Bobby Cunningham, were assassinated. And their legacies inspired me to pursue a career in service.
Oh my God.
I left the law firm, became a public defender because my city...
He feels so passionately about it, he can't even say it.
After Dr. King was assassinated because of the riots. And
I watched from the opposite window, from the scope of my rifle. I mean...
to the United States Senate when I had no intention of running at age 29.
And now I'm physically incapable of running.
Now president to the first women vice president.
Studied at the knees of Willie Brown. The Ugandan giant Kamala.
I've been told I was too young. By the way, they didn't let me on the Senate elevators for votes sometimes. They're not a joke.
Yeah.
And I've been told I'm too old. Whether young or old, I've always known what endures.
Oh my God.
North Star.
Trying to make a point about the fact that he's not too old and losing his train of thought in the middle of the sentence.
We've never fully lived up to that.
that is Biden in a nutcase, folks.
Away from it now.
Oh.
I really am. I'm optimistic.
Anyone else feel profoundly boned? Anyone?
My fellow Americans,
And with your help, I can get elected for the first time.
isn't how old we are. It's how old are our ideas.
Yeah, like our 300-year-old socialist ideas.
Lead America with ancient ideas. Only take us back. You lead America, the land of...
How old is Marxism, folks?
You need a vision for the future and what can and should be done.
When was Robespierre alive? When was that?
Mine. I see a future where defending the...
We're gonna progress to the year 1771.
will restore the right to choose and protect our freedoms, not take them away. I see a future where the middle class finally has a fair shot and the wealthy have to pay their fair share in taxes. I see a future where we
Is this like the Biden version of I Have a Dream?
country from gun violence. Above all,
I see a future where you buy a shotgun and fire 2 shots in the air to scare the intruder
country for all Americans.
and then get stabbed to death.
And I will always be president for all Americans. Because I believe in America.
Always be president, huh? That was telling.
People. You're the reason we've never been more optimistic about our future than I am now. So let's build the future together.
Let's analyze that sentence grammatically.
We are the United States of America. And there is nothing beyond our capacity when we act together.
Except maybe walking up a light incline.
And may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, I agree about one thing. May God protect us all. That was edifying. Yeah, they pumped him up full of the rhino steroids tonight. That was pretty much exactly what I predicted.
This is Josh Vogt with AP. What we just saw tonight from President Biden was an election year state.
All right, gang. I'm going to turn this audio down here, and I'm going to get to your chats here. Oh, hold on. I'm probably not going to be able to get to all of them, but I will do my darndest. Boy, there was a lot of people. But, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I know that was incredibly insightful. Paul S. Rohrbaugh. Thank you for the 50. 1986 National Firearms Act, some of the most restrictive firearms laws in American history, arguably unconstitutional, signed into law by Ronald Reagan. Republicans are no friend of the Second Amendment. Absolutely true. They're a 19th century progressive party. The Democrats are a 20th century progressive party. This is why you have to accept the fact that Trump is essentially when they say that Trump is leading an insurrection, what they really mean is he is leading an insurrection within the Republican Party. He's actually providing us with a populist alternative. The same thing William Howard Taft tried to do, the same thing Calvin Coolidge tried to do. He's not as politically principled as them. He's more of a populist pragmatist, but still, he's essentially trying to take the Republican Party, who are a progressive engine and have been since the beginning, from Lincoln to Roosevelt, whatever, that's always been what they are, and he's trying to bring it in a more small government populist kind of direction. That's you need to say that out loud, because if you don't accept that you're essentially an incendiary force within your own party, you're really going to be disillusioned about the state of Republicans. All right, let's see here. Iron Colo. Nothing says typo like shifting 900,000 Californian votes from Republican to Democrat on live TV. I'm sure this won't balkanize California even more, as it is totally not finally going to break it apart. I don't know what you're talking about. Most secure election ever. Patrick Batman, crime goes down when you decriminalize crime. Vij, hey, Godspeed. He says, hi from a Styx follower. Glad to see you here. Go on Razor. Hey, Godspeed. I would welcome Styx's presence on any of these streams. I hope you enjoyed our live snarkathon with that speech. I don't even know if punchlines could make that speech any funnier. Paul S. Rohrbaugh. My grandparents had their voter registrations in Florida stolen, changed to a different city, Republican to Dem, and requested an absentee ballot. Thankfully, we found it and fixed it, but they're out in force to steal, to fortify the election, he says. Cannibal Vegetable. But does he carry hot sauce in his clutch bag? That's a good question. That's a good question. Scully, I wonder if he's ever had his wig split. Scully Bones. Alabama resident here. Selma is a trash heap. Patrick Batman. Code Blue, sit in the Tard Wrangler. Rebellions, thank you for the 50. Did we just watch him come down from whatever they put him on in real time? I think we did a couple of times. At about the halfway mark, did you guys notice like his energy level overall just kind of bottomed out? And then at the end, it was like, there was probably a prompt on his teleprompter where it was literally like, okay, now you really need to yell this and bring this home. It was like right at the end, he built back up to a kind of crescendo. But it did seem like he hit the halfway point and whatever he was on kind of wore off. Let's see here. Tecumseh. Joe Biden helped Abraham Lincoln cross the border to free the slaves. I think you're onto something there. Ditka89. Hey, Razor. Would you debate Stuttering John on politics or have him on your show? I think we just saw enough stuttering for 9 streams stacked on top of each other. That's all right. I'll pass on that. Plus, Howard Stern sucks and Stuttering John sucks even harder. Generalissimo Liberty. Democrats still want slaves. Well, they've got debt slaves. Paul S. Rohrbaugh again. You have to remember the entire speech is BS. Democrats are all about making promises and not following through. They never deliver. Republicans aren't much better, but they're the lesser evil. Not always. Honestly, sometimes you really do need to pay more attention to the gun at your back than in front of you. Sometimes. It just kind of depends on the politician. Point being, this speech is largely meaningless. I mean, I don't know if anyone else caught this, but it did. The guy at the end said that was a election year speech. No, that was an election season speech. That was an election speech, clearly. That was a campaign speech, basically. The Great Gonzo. The Californians voted in the friendly highway tax. Yeah, we got that. It's BS. Our highways are in worse state than they've ever been in Arizona since the friendly highways tax. And it's funny too, the friendly highways tax wasn't even passed by the voters. It was like shoved through by the state senate. And actually, I'm not even sure how that came about, but it came on the heels of Arizona having a massive budget deficit. And it, I think, was related to the light rail, if I'm not mistaken. The Folly Trolley. Blue Lick, biggest tax to abolish property tax. Paul Rohrbaugh again. The only standards Democrats have are double standards. Vinyl Morpheus, any future Blood West streams. Ooh, I'd like to play that again. They've been updating it steadily. I really, really dig that game. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's like a cowboy western horror stealth game. Really, really boss. Sweeping Hamster, corporations don't pay taxes, consumers do via higher prices. Joe Smith, Jeep plant in Belvedere, Illinois, is shutting down. Many such cases. Scully Bones, imagine being black, knowing Joe's history, and clapping for him. Adrian Barrera, government websites are all down. Who knows why? Best Way Killer, more what's than a Stone Cold promo. What? Now listen here, you mealy-mouthed bastard. Patrick Batman, I thought evil dictators were meant to be charismatic and know about statecraft. He's Machiavellian in the sense that he's old enough to have met the guy. I think that's why he talks about the Civil War so much. He remembers it like it was yesterday. Andrew Van Halen, I'm all for standing up to Putin as long as most people in that room are the ones in the way taking the hits. Background noise. Who's the mummy on the right? Trash Man. Thoughts on Pat Labor movies as a mecha nerd? I don't. Oh, Pat Labor movies. I've seen like frames of them and stuff, but I've never watched them, so it's something I need to watch. Chief Slingin' Beef. My autistic son is more well-spoken than this. Honestly, probably has a better economic plan. But are all Austrian school economists autists anyway? You know. The Gamer. Biden and Trudeau are so bad Canada supports Trump. GTI Warrior. I know you have to keep the volume low, but your mouse click is louder than he is. Generalissimo Liberty. Biden can't cure cancer and Satan can't cast out Satan. Let's see here. Cisco Sistar. Delaware has laws that benefit corporations heavily, so a lot of corporations have P.O. boxes there, but combined, maybe, but that requires checking. So, like, because it's a tax shelter state. Cannibal Vegetable. Biden's a man running on Provigil Benzo Coladas. Benzo Biden. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Scully Bones. Given how full of crap Biden is, I want to hear Corn Pop's side of the story. I'm sure it involves hairy legs. Generalissimo Liberty. What the hell words he creates? My 3-year-old will win Scrabble. I don't know what that means. Tivil. Watching this honestly upsets me. He's stoking the flames and beating war drums. What's worse is I know most of my family are still going to vote for him. Unfortunately. Jadine, I grew up on a family farm. You did not one damn thing for me or my family. Well, tax us. You did that. I'm not sure what that meant at the end. I think that was a typo. Sergeant Buckwheat, companies incorporate in Delaware and conduct business elsewhere. Okay, so that kind of explains it. Emperor Creatine, you can tell he's been around since the 70s. He's still calling it trickle-down economics and not theft of wages from the proletariat by corpos. Filippo Di Noto. I already read the one about Clarence Thomas. Let's see here. Medieval Syphilis. Get most of my cultural recommendations from you, but what's your favorite childhood media besides TMNT? I love Carmen Sandiego and He-Man. I tried to watch Carmen Sandiego so many times because of that theme song, right? Like anybody, I could recite that theme song in my sleep, but I never could get into that show. The games seemed cool, but I was way too young when the Carmen Sandiego games came out, so they were like a little too complex. You know, when you're a kid and you play an RPG for the first time and you have no idea what you're doing because it's more complex than a jumping plumber. That's kind of how I felt playing the Carmen Sandiego games. But they did seem really cool. They had them like in my school back in the day. Let's see here. Mercenary X, I'm telling you, it's all CGI and pre-recorded. Garrett Wood, I think whoever manages the Biden text-to-speech keeps rolling their face on the keyboard. Or a cat jumped on the keyboard or something, I'm sure. The best badness. Biden does distribute lots of things. He distributes human waste to his long johns. Only at the Vatican, from what I hear. Which is about the third most full of shit thing in the Vatican, by the way, these days. Joseph Burton, I cannot wait to see his speech officially transcribed. It will undoubtedly be as hard to read and understand as it was when he spoke. Generalissimo Liberty in his party selling American involves people. I think it means organs, actually. Like from Planned Parenthood. He's big on them. That was a nice little expose, by the way. Was that James O'Keefe just this past week? Exposed some more organ selling operations from them. Good times. Rot in hell. Alec McLaughlin. I love democracy. I love the republic. That's all I heard from Biden. The power you give me, I will lay down when this crisis has abated. Joshua Black, have you thought about making a video about the Southern Strategy hoax? That is kind of an interesting idea. I don't know. Does that video already exist on YouTube? It might be worth doing. Generalissimo Liberty. I want the guys at 4chan to get ready with that teleprompter thing. He's on more drugs than a late 1990s baseball player. Old man yells at Congress. What was the baseball team in the 80s that was all on uppers? Was it the Oakland A's? They were like known for being on coke all the time. I forget what, I think it was the A's. I mean, it's Oakland. Toxic Dirt. I would love someone to put industrial society and its consequences on his teleprompter and hear him read it. I stand by what I said earlier. You could put Mein Kampf on that thing. He would read it verbatim. Oh my God. He'd be going off on Lebensraum. Heath J. Settle down, Beavis. Salt A. Did he say he likes King Cocks? No, King Cock! Your penis is too small. Anyone seen that video? Sorry, anyway. Joshua Black, what do you think the odds are of a MAGA Republican winning mayor of Tucson? So I'm going to tell you a story about a snowball in hell now. Original Pasta Man, I'm honestly just waiting for America to have its Frycore moment at this point. The Therock, dear God, there isn't enough alcohol in my vicinity to watch this shit show of a rambling speech. I think, are you just typing out Kamala Harris's inner monologue now, or is that... Big Mike! The only thing that would improve this stream is some Cristal Cerveza. On a side note, how happy are you Kirsten Sinema's dropped out? You know, I never thought we'd get Kirsten Sinema to drop out, because I could never wrangle up a helicopter. But I'm happy that she has finally dropped out. That moistened bint. Let's see here. Vasudine? $10 says they don't move a muscle when Trump is elected once more. Vij, for you, for freedom. Thank you for the 100. Very generous. Stephen Morris, turn it up, please. Really, dude? Did you really want me to turn it up? I did actually turn it up, but, yeah. Von Guthard, this is a weird Jeff Dunham skit. I've told this story before, but Jeff Dunham played at my kindergarten. Let's see here. Jules408, damn, my bingo card is already full. True Nub Gaming, he also remembers when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor. Wasn't Biden born like a month after Pearl Harbor or something? Like this, we call him old, but like ancient is more like it. James Ross, 45 minutes to walk to the mic, 10 minutes to mumble into the mic, 5 minutes of Roomba Joe. Let's see here. Some Norwegian guy, I'd pay top dollar to hear him attempt Tommy the Cat by Primus. Joseph Burton, so all he's done in the first 12 minutes is literally quote other presidential speeches. Wonderful. Yeah, and at the end he quoted I have a dream, so that was nice. Mute Mapmaker, most of the people in the room came into power before I was born. When are we going to stop electing people that remember the Cambrian explosion? They remember Pangea. Ice Pole, dropping fucking from your outro concerns me. It shouldn't, and I'll do what I want. Lieutenant Dude, when Trump won the election in 2016, my classmates at my veterinary school all dressed in black the next day because it was a funeral for America. Seriously? Where do you live, dude? So glad I'm out of university and working for normal people. Yeah. And unlike most of the people at your university, you're actually working. Juan Constantine. Joey B. poop his pants and his dementia is advanced. What? Matthew Hammond. Rush Limbaugh, Norm Macdonald, and the rest of the dead will not notice the date was wrong on the Twitter post when they vote for Biden later this year. Josiah Flynn. What does a corrupt old man smell like? Depends. Gun Puncher. Hey, Razor. Finally have a chance to toss you some shekels now that I've found work. I'll spare you the sob story, but I just wanted to thank you for making some real tough months a little bit easier. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you all who hung out with us. I'm trying to roll through these. There's a whole bunch of them. I don't know if I'll get to all of them, but they'll still be here in the list. So Taryn can get to them when we stream tomorrow. So don't worry about it if they're not read here tonight. Medieval Syphilis, here's a random one. Who's your most badass metal musician? I might go with Kane Roberts. Go look him up. He looks like Rambo. He's got a machine gun guitar, and he can shred. He's amazing. Let's see here. M. Towers, question, Razor, what's the over-under on Biden wanders off stage mid-speech? He kind of did. He ducked under and grabbed that thingy off the podium for a second. And then did you notice that moment when Republicans were booing him and he kind of walked away from the podium, looked off to the side like he kind of was wondering what to do, and then he walked back to the mic for a second? Brilliant, pure Biden. Paul Rohrbaugh again, calling it now. Biden's going to go full dementia and fuck up something big, like declare war on someone. He almost did. Like half of the speech was declaring war on one power or another. And he opened the speech by talking up NATO. Let's get a world war going. Uzi Patrol, where's his son, Hunter Routh Biden? Heads up, he's hoping the world will check out before he falls off the podium. Delta Gamer, how soon before we get Monty Python on this State of the Union? Well, you know, I did say it could use a laugh track. Marion Holtzman, Laura Boomer. Breaking! Truth Social just went down. It went down as soon as Joe Biden walked into Congress to give his State of the Union speech. Did it really? Can anyone in the chat actually confirm that? Did it go down? I did not know this. I don't know if that was a joke or real. Anyway, Elijah Tiemans. Where does the 2025 Trump get his cabinet picks from? There aren't any more Jeff Sessions waiting in the wings. Who is left? I think he's going to play it close. I know he's already been talking about certain people in his being in his cabinet. I'm hoping that he does something like grab Bannon and then not let Bannon get politicked out of his job. That was one of the most disappointing things that Trump did in his entire presidency. Look, I had a lot of gripes about Trump, and one of the biggest ones was the way that he treated his cabinet and some of the dirtbags he allowed into his cabinet. And he's got to demonstrate that he's learned the lesson. Thus far, he's talking a better game than he did in 2016, at least. So I'm taking a wait-and-see approach. Parlock 480, do you think Creed is a Christian band? I don't even think they're a band. Sir Yubi-san, how to suppress your anger in seeing confused more than Biden illegals if they're swarming near you. We need the Dawn back. Godspeed, Razor Force. Super Baharoth, what's the applause for? They just surprised he made it? Well, he's standing upright for 45 uninterrupted minutes. I'd say that deserves a golf clap at least. Astro Zombie, hey Razor, what's your take on the border crisis? Have you seen my video, Why We Need the Wall? I've seen some say the issue will never get resolved as it's such a major voting point for both sides, and will Trump be able to get it done once he's back? I would disagree with that, actually. Democrats don't want it to be that much of an issue because it doesn't drive turnout. Democrat voters are not energized by the border issue the way that Republicans are. If Biden makes the border an issue, he's helping Republicans and he's helping Trump. It's never interrupt your enemy while he's making a mistake. Sean, the extra guy. Here's some extra $1 dues from me. Let's go, Brandon. Thank you for joining us. Emperor Soft Turtle. Fun fact, cacti have a QI 13 points higher than Joey. I think that was meant to be IQ. Freak Ainer. Biden looks more hammered than Bob Vila at a Black & Decker convention. I don't even know what that means. Shadow Campbell. That reminds me of a Dennis Miller joke. More hammered than Bob Vila's thumb. Shadow Gamble. Hello. Is hair-snorting Joe Biden going to complain about much of the lawfare against Trump failing? He didn't actually say a word about that. He did blame Trump for... God... 75% of the speech was blaming Trump. And by the way, I don't think that's actually a great... Like, recently, I think Biden made one of the biggest blunders of his entire, like, career, really, as president, anyways. As asterisk president. I'll be able to pronounce that word one day. And it was when he complained about the border bill not passing and basically said that he essentially yielded the presidency back to Trump. Did you guys catch that? Trump is the reason. Please, I want to work with you. Convince Republicans to pass the bill. He's essentially just abdicating the presidency and handing it over to Trump. Oh, you're the president now. Does he not understand that makes him look weak? Like strategically, optically, that just bowling shoe ugly. Atun Desenfrenado? ARS 1000, I don't know what that is. But he says, you know when you set your mouse sensitivity too low? That's how Biden moves. It's also how he thinks. It's also how he intuits. Uriah of the House of Right. Don't let President Brandon sniff your kids. Stephen Thompson. Quotation from Chairman Joe. Depends are mightier than the sword. I read that already, actually. Biden fart huffing time, and we're actually now to the super chats that I have read earlier. If we missed any, folks, we will get to them on Friday. I want to thank all of you for joining me. I hope that the snark was able to help you get through, you know, the downfall of our republic. Folks, until next time, I am RazörFist. Thank you all for joining me, and Godspeed.
RazörForce.